Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Unloaded, the Soulful Journey to Self-Care. My name is Sharon E. Webb Richards. I am your host today, and I have an amazing guest in studio. First, I just want to share that this is my first podcast. I'm super excited. God is so good, and He brought on the best guest possible to be my first guest. I can't thank Him enough. So, if you guys can just please help me welcome land my first guest, Miss Syntyché Clarke.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, beautiful.
How are you?
I'm so
Thank
well.
you for having me. Congratulations.
Thank you. This has been a big leap for me.
Yeah.
This is a big leap. People look at people and they can figure them out. And people say, oh, probably
True.
be easy for her.
Mm-hmm.
She's been on radio. She's this, she's that. But we both know where that space comes from, right?
And you know what? As you say that, there's nothing happens before its time, right?
Right.
God had a point in time for you, and this was the time.
Yeah. And it feels good.
Good.
That's the best part.
That's
right?
critical.
Because a lot of people can tell you that it's your time, but when you feel it's your time, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, whole different ballgame.
Right?
Whole different ballgame.
So I call her Sin.
Yes,
and most people call me Sin. Everyone calls her Sin.
Yeah, much to my mother's.
Right. But your mother gave you the most unique name on the planet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, kudos to mom and dad.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They just give you the best name.
Yeah, it's actually in the Bible, Philippians chapter 4, verse 2.
Come on now.
Okay, she was a sister in the church. All right.
Listen, let me tell you something. I can't even get to your bio yet. I can't. I have to share just a little bit. I didn't even like my name too much. It's Sharon, not because Sharon is bad, but because it was like the Caribbean, everybody put Sharon in their songs. Sharon. I was like, come on, can I get up out of your song, please? And then one day the Lord put me into the scripture of the Rose of Sharon.
Okay, yes.
And I said, okay, God,
that's it.
Let me embrace
there
my
you
name.
Go. There you go.
So let me just read a little bit about our amazing guest today. Syntyché Clarke can be described using only 3 words: fashionable, passionate, and proud.
Indeed.
Wow. So we're going to share a little bit of who you are, because I know for some of our listeners, people see you, but they don't know who you are. So we're going to read that story a little bit.
Yeah.
You're an American-born producer, program director, promoter, and all-around Jane of all trades. Was raised in Jamaican and Bajan household. It was in the home where Sin developed a pride and passion for her Caribbean culture, which would eventually order her career steps. So I'm not even going to read much more. You know why? Because it's just so deep, that right there.
Yeah.
So I was born here as well.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
Raised in Queens.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you was born here till I saw this.
Yeah,
so we have way too much in common right now.
Yes,
but I want to touch a little bit about that. And my grandfather was Bajan.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So not my father, but his father.
Okay.
So I know nothing about that, but I want to ask you, being born in this country and being raised in a Caribbean household, speak on that a little bit.
So I was born in 78. And my household was strictly Caribbean. My parents, to the T. If you look up just how the Caribbean household is ran, June and Steve's picture is somewhere in there. The food, the going to church, the cleanliness, just everything that you can think of as it pertains to a Caribbean household and how it's ran in the Caribbean. All they did was take it up and bring it here to America. The manners, the respect, the values, all those things were embedded in me. And that's why I say, they're who I am today has everything to do with who they were and how they raised me and my siblings, it was in the beginning part at that stage in the 80s when I was in school. You were the kid that came off of the banana boat. Mind you, I was born in Queens, I was
Yes.
American
What is
at
that
that time.
about? That banana
But
boat?
yes, so when my mother used to come, she used to come and bring food,
Yes.
her leftovers. So during lunch hour, when the children are, have their sandwich and whatever, mommy's coming with the curry goat and the
Mhm.
brown stew, and it's just like,
Wow.
Mom,
Yes.
you're embarrassing me.
Yes.
It was horrible. I can still see the
I
red bowl.
get
She would
it.
walk into the
Oh,
lunchroom where
that's
she had the
hilarious.
ability to warm it up in the teacher's lounge, and it was just so embarrassing. And then she was a lunch mom at the, and then she, if anybody knows a Bayesian, and hear my Bayesian accent, they sing. My mother sings to this day. She's been here for 40 something years. She sings when she speaks. Anybody who knows Rihanna, you know what we're talking about. To this day. So listen, so it was always, I was teased as a little girl growing up. It wasn't easy until the 90s creeped in, and yes. Okay. Being Caribbean or being Jamaican or Bajan, that was the thing to be.
Yes.
All right. At that time, I transitioned from private school into the public school. I went to Martin Van Buren. Martin Van Buren was like everything to me. To this day, we were at that time, I don't know about now, but at that time we were the school of excellence. But it was in Van Buren in the 90s when being Caribbean was popular.
Yeah.
Them time the dancehall was big.
Yes.
Them time the 90s, you used to have your Belfoot pants, your mesh marina, the
and
finger
let me
waves.
right there. So, where did you get this fashion, little guys? Who's not able to see her?
Well,
she is the fashionista of the fashionistas.
I do love.
I want to talk a little bit about where that came in.
And fun fact for those who are listening,
yes,
Sharon's daughter Jasmine, has been in a plethora of my fashion shows. So Sharon and I are not strangers to each other by any means. So growing up again, this is where the Caribbean roots came in. My mother and my father used to dress. When I say dress, I mean dress. I mean, and in that, stories. My mother used to put me and my sister, my brother together. We have the matching outfits, the prints, the everything. Wow. And even if I look back into old albums, my mother used to have the cutest A-line dresses, the cutest anything as it pertains to fashion and style. It came from my parents, and how they dressed, like and to this day, my mother earrings, fingernail, everything have a match, everything. When and she's only going to church, mind you. But when she step out, the two of them step out, them have to clean. So that's really where I got that from.
And I think that's like the first time I've ever heard a child say they got their fashion from their parents.
I did. That was passed down through
them. We need a bell to ring on that one. That is amazing. Mm-hmm. So I have a few questions for you. Sure. I really am grateful again to God to have you, because you started on a journey that to me was a switch up and a flip up. Like you mentioned, I've known you for many years on another platform, and I was just like, during this whole pandemic thing and we was in quarantine, I saw a phoenix rise.
I'll take it.
I saw the most beautiful fashionista phoenix rise. We're going to talk about that, guys.
Yeah.
Again, we have Miss Clarke in the house, and she's all of that, guys. And I just wanted to see a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
Let's see. In 2000, you took a leap of faith and landed a job as executive assistant to Robert Livingston, CEO of Big Yard Music. What was that like?
That was that was eye-opening for me, and for my parents too, because at 19, somewhere around there, I'm not going to give the right dates, but somewhere in that time frame, I was working for the New York City off-track betting. My father got me a job, and that time you're working for the city was a big deal, right? Because you had the benefits, yada yada yada. I used to work in their sporting sports bars. They have pods in their sports bars, so I would take bets on horses. paid great money. At that time, I think it was like $25. And for a teenager, that
Yeah,
was big
that's a lot of
money.
money.
Okay.
That's not for a grown
So
up.
plus I got dental and all. I was like, yes, I'm winning. But I was in a space, I was in a relationship that really wasn't good for me. And one night I was at my cousin's house, and yet again, the idiot boyfriend must have, they would want girl and whatever, whatever. So I'm like bearing my soul, boo hoo. My cousin's husband comes in, and I tell you no lie, he said, "Look here, now you want something for do come," just like that.
Like that.
And she lived in Valley Stream at the time, and the studio was in Valley Stream.
Wow.
And just because he saw me just kind of laying it bare on his living room floor, he was like, "You're idle, let's go." And he took me to the office.
Really?
The next day, he took me to the office, and that's how I got my start in the music industry. I had no idea about administration. I had no idea about being anybody's assistant or anything of that nature. But after he's going to give me a try.
Okay.
He saw me kind of breaking down. And I was like, he saw something bigger in me. And that's another thing too. For like he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself.
Right.
And he put me in a space where I was either going to sink or swim. And honey, I was swimming. The experience was like, again, eye-opening, because now I had to tell my very Caribbean parents, mind you, remember, in a Caribbean household, you have to be a doctor or lawyer.
Yes.
That's
a whole
nurse.
different conversation.
Yes. So I was going to be a nurse in my parents' eyes. Right. So when them here say now I am now about to leave my city job that's paying me good money to go into the music industry, because at that time in the music industry, all you're going to do is have sex with people. You're going to do drugs. You're going to, it's just going to be hang out, and it's just going to idleness.
Right.
There was no livelihood in that.
Like, where
so
did I fail?
Yes, no. Oh, my mother, I'll not forget. So when I started with Big Yard, it was right when It Wasn't Me popped off. So now I'm in the midst of Shaggy, who is the biggest top charting artist, and we're working on tours. We're doing all of that stuff. The album did so well, it went to diamond, like literally off the bat. And I was to go. They were still doing a celebration for him in Jamaica. Now this is the first time I'm traveling without my parents, and I had to tell them that not only am I leaving the job, I am now leaving the country without you, with man, because forget who's a family member, but this man, go with.
Yes.
So, and my mother couldn't tell me no at the time, because I was grown. In my, in my head, I was grown.
Right.
My mother wrote me an epistle. I think I still have it, an epistle. And she quoted every Bible verse, and they were heartbroken. They were devastated.
And they were scared.
They were, of course,
scared
because they had no idea.
Listen.
Because the misconception really was that the music industry was nothing but idleness. It was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It wasn't somewhere for a female to, let alone their daughter, to make a living.
Right.
That wasn't happening. No. So
tell us a little bit about you meeting. So you work with Shaggy.
Yeah.
How was that? And then
it was great. The whole entire experience with Big Yard, it was good. It was I was finding myself, finding my wings. I met some brilliant to this day people that are still friends and family to me.
Right.
Fun fact, when It Wasn't Me came out and it was doing amazing things, a certain individual came to the office in Valley Stream to book Shaggy for their show, the event that they were having at the Palladium in New Rochelle.
Wow.
When this person came in, all you saw was a head. Like, I just saw a head. The head was really big, and I was like, that guy got a big head. And Robert, which was Shaggy's manager at the time, introduced me, like, this is Bobby, this is Sins, and Bobby from Irie Jam. And I was like, no, but hey, Bobby, how are you? Nice to meet you. And he came, they did their business, and they left. I didn't know at the time that Bobby would have been my Bobby.
All right, let's back it up
at
a little
that
bit.
time, that was what 2000. I think that's 2001.
Let's say Bobby who? Let's start from Bobby
Okay,
who,
Bobby who,
and then get to Bobby now.
Okay,
just because a little bit of that.
So
Bobby from
that was
Bobby
yes,
Clarke.
Bobby Clarke, Robert Clarke.
Mm-hmm.
From
and you met him. How that's a little nice.
Yes, I
there.
met him. He came to Big Yard to book Shaggy for for a show that they were having.
Listen, guys, that's some tea on how they met.
That is how we met. I don't even think that we exchanged numbers at the time because it wouldn't have made sense.
I think that's the best.
It wouldn't have made sense at the time because I was just there as Robert's assistant, and it was just in passing. He and I had no business. I wasn't doing anything really with Bobby. You know, I was doing admin stuff in the office. So we didn't exchange information, but I just knew I was introduced as this is the owner of Irie Jam Radio.
So share a little bit about that Irie Jam intro and then your journey a little bit.
For Irie Jam. Okay, so then I was with Big Yard for about 2 years. And then I left Big Yard and went to work for a marketing company in the city called RPM Marketing. They dealt with music marketing. Okay. And at that time, I was doing bookings for DJ Enough and Khalees. I was working on the Khalees management when she came out with Milkshake.
Yes.
So, you know, that experience was a good experience. It was eye-opening. It's showed me that the mainstream music wasn't really for me.
Okay.
That was paramount. That was screaming. I mean, maybe months into the job, I was like, oh, I can't. Just the mannerisms, and the culture was different. Okay. And I knew I wanted to be back in my culture, where I was comfortable, which was in Caribbean culture. Right. I knew I was going to be doing something in Caribbean culture, in Caribbean music, Caribbean entertainment. So in the back of my head, I said, what about Bobby? This guy, Bobby Clarke.
Ah, look at that.
And I got his number. I think I called Robert probably for his number, or somebody in the office at Big Yard for his number. I got his number and I called him the same day. And I was like, I think it was April, maybe. It could have been March or whatever. Anyway, I called and I was like, hi, Bobby, this is Sin. We met at Big Yard, and I was wondering if you had any openings at Irie Jam Radio. So he said to come in for an interview, and I got the job.
I guess you did.
Needless to say,
I got a lot of jobs.
Yeah, and starting with Irie Jam, I started out as Bobby's assistant. Okay. But at the time when Irie Jam started, I think Irie Jam was maybe 5-6 years old.
Okay, wow.
When I started, it could have been a little bit more. Maybe okay. I don't think it was 10 years yet.
Okay.
But I knew that's where I was supposed to be.
Okay.
I knew that was where I was supposed to be. And for whatever reason, again, Bobby knew me from nowhere, but again, gave me a chance.
Right. As his assistant.
It gave me a chance. And everybody that was in there, from Roy to Dubmaster to Louie, wow. At the time, Brenda was there. They all embraced
wow.
me. Dee Dee was there, and what they did was, I mean, not even embrace me, they took me on as like their family.
Wow, that's big.
Like I was like the little sister.
Wow.
And again, it was a sink or swim for me, and I had to swim. I had to level
Absolutely.
up, and I rose in rank. I went from assistant, I think, to maybe office manager to marketing, and an opportunity came around for a fashion event.
Okay.
And fashion was something that, I mean, anytime I came into the office, they were just like, what she got on now? What do you have on? Because I always showed up. I was always doing the absolute most.
Always
that
present.
I was always present. Yes. I understood the assignment from then.
Listen,
yes.
listen, as the eyes roll.
Yeah. So Bobby was like, Sin, he tasked me to put on a fashion show.
I want to say something to some of our listeners who don't know. Irie Jam Radio has been in existence for how long?
29 years. Next
29
year will be
years.
30.
The largest Caribbean radio
Yes.
station in New York,
Media,
and
yeah.
now
Mm-hmm.
has the bridge.
Yes.
So listenership
Yes.
within the Caribbean of Jamaica and the other and New York and the tri-state area.
Yeah.
This is a big deal, guys.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
It really is.
Her man is a big deal
he
too.
He is. And I just want to say just kind of congratulations and big up to him, because as we talk about purpose here, Bobby left the shores of Jamaica 17, 18 around them times. I had no idea, no training in anything to do with media, no idea what was going to happen, how he was going to make it in America.
Yes.
But somebody saw something in him. He saw something in himself, and was able to realize also pretty quickly that in America, the ownership of a media house, one, was going to be hard, an uphill battle, and two, to really own your outright. When I say own, I mean own.
Wow. Yes. Own.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's stocked. The books are, or the wheels are stacked against you, especially being a person of color. But his dream was to always own his own radio station. Not just lease time enough.
Right.
Radio station.
Own.
And own.
Right. And isn't that all of our goals? To own
and
something?
To own something. So to be able to come to America, really make a mark, and I mean a huge mark.
Yes.
With Irie Jam Radio, and to go back home to own his own radio station outright, I just have to say, like, he continues to inspire me.
Wow.
And our children. He is brilliant, and I'm honored just to be on this journey with him.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And with correction, that's her husband.
Yes. Of 7 years.
Yes, of 7 years.
Yeah.
And we're so proud of him, and we're proud of you both.
Thank you.
Because let me tell you, no man is an island. Listen, he did not get there without you. Yeah. Period.
And he continues to. Yes, he does. He recognizes that. I recognize that, and it really is. We believe this was written before. Right. The hairs on our heads were numbered.
Exactly.
It was always going to be this way.
And that's when you know that you know that you know. Yeah. When you know that this was destined
to
be.
Yeah, this is written.
Let's keep it real. Some people are still on the fence about their relationships. Like, am I supposed to be here? Not supposed to be here? Yeah. But you knew this was destiny. Yeah. And God knows what we need.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Right?
Indeed.
He knew what Bobby needed in
that's
a spouse.
Yeah.
To make it, because
yes,
some people
think,
but overthink.
Yeah.
My grandmother used to say, "You think and think and think till you think shit."
Yep, it's true. There's no lie there. It's true. It is true.
So, and I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you guys because and you're an inspiration, both of you.
Thank you.
For just doing what you do, and you do it so graciously.
Yeah, we try. We
graciously.
We put God first.
Yeah, but there's a grace, like. I'm here. We're just living our purpose.
Yeah, because this is what we're called to do. There's nothing else. Not to say that if comes what may, if we have to pack up and come back to America or stay in Jamaica, but close down the bridge or CGN, and we had to go to the whole hotel work or flip burger or whatever, we'd do it. We'd have to.
Listen, but you would do it. You would do it again. Do it again. Because you've already built. I always tell people, and I told my daughter this recently. And for people who don't really know my daughter, it's Jasmine, and she's 28 years old. And I tell her all the time, I says, I feel like I've done a great job for you as far as I know that you can build anything from scratch. Some people feel like if I give my child the most money, some people have all the money in the world and they don't know what to do with it.
Foundation is everything.
I know that if something happens to me tomorrow, my daughter can build something from scratch.
Because you gave her a firm foundation.
Yes,
you gave her from
scratch. And that's whatever it is.
And in anything, that is important. Something that I believe our parents today who are raising young children or if you're a role model, or if you're in education or whatever the case may be, ensure that children have a firm foundation. It is critical. It is paramount in legacy building. It is imperative that we're arming them with what they need
Right.
in order to succeed.
Right.
Very important.
Very important. I want to go into um, your latest journey.
Hmm.
Oh my God. Just saying the name of it is just so profound. Um, you started something. Did you, I want to say maybe during quarantine or that 2020,
Mhm.
called Chasing Purpose.
I did. Chasing purpose.
I want to be kind of strategic because I know this is very deep for you.
Mhm. The Kleenex
So,
are here.
yeah, I
Guys.
know. All right. I'm going to ask you some questions about
Sure.
chasing purpose. And the first one I'm going to ask you is, when did you ask yourself why you're here? That interlude into this last journey. Interlude into your purpose. Let's start from there and then we go into chasing purpose. So when did you ask yourself, why am I here?
So, why am I here as it pertains to chasing purpose? Let me just kind of go back a little bit.
Sure.
Before I left New York, before I moved to Jamaica, um, I was depressed. I was depressed. Well, optics would show, look, she's married to a successful businessman. She's a successful entrepreneur herself, hands in a bunch of things and doing well for herself and her family. But I just wasn't, for whatever reason, in my mind,
Hmm.
I wasn't where I needed to be. And I was like, why am I feeling, literally, Sharon, I did not want to get to bed. I didn't want to put clothes on. I didn't want to. It was the grace of God, because I think at that time, um, Jade maybe had started. She was maybe in kindergarten. Yeah, she was in kindergarten. And Amber and Jordan were in college, and it was living with us, I should say. And I had to get up every day to make sure that the house was together. So in essence, I guess they were my saving grace, but I didn't want to do anything.
So it looks like you were asking yourself,
I was.
why am I here?
Why? Why am I here? Why am I here? But you go through the motions because you have to show up for yourself.
Absolutely.
You have to show up for yourself.
That's right.
And life was happening. I went to therapy. Talk therapy helped at that time, and I was going. The opportunity came to move to Jamaica, and actually Bobby called me one day. We were working on this deal for a while, which was the purchase of the station in Jamaica. But the deal had fast tracked, and he was just like, "So, we ready?" And I was like, "Ready for what?" To move. And I was like, I forgot how he phrased it. But after I hung up with him, I picked up the phone. I called two people. And those two persons, I said, they lived in Jamaica. They were girlfriends of mine. And I said, what do you think about me moving to Jamaica? What could I do? Until we were able to really launch the bridge,
Right.
And launch CGN there. And they were just like, no, come on. It was one was gung ho and for it. The other one was like, I do not like splitting up. I don't like the idea of splitting up family, because Bobby would have to stay in New York
Right.
to make sure the Irie Jam was functioning,
Right.
where I would have to live in Jamaica
Right.
on my own with the youngest, right? So but I said, you know what? I'm in a headspace right now where I need something new. I was at my wit's end with everything that was happening. Everything, personally and professionally, in New York. And the phone call could have, and it was God himself that made Bobby make that phone call. And the next day, I want to say, let's say within that week, I had an appointment to see a realtor. an appointment to go look at schools for Jade, a
Mm,
ticket booked.
wow. The next day.
When I landed in Kingston, um, I went to see the apartment first, I think. Yeah. I went to see a few apartments first. A few, yeah. I went to see a few apartments first. And then I went to tour. I was touring two schools to put Jade in. When I went to I think I found there was like two, three apartments. We found the apartment, boom, signed off and all.
Wow.
Okay? Because I'm leaving. I don't tell nobody nothing, but I'm leaving. I'm
Wow.
ready to go. And then I went to one school, the first school. When I saw the first school, I was like, this is it, God. We found
You
it. She's
found it. So
here. We're
everything lined
moving.
up.
Everything aligned.
Wow. So everything
Everything
lined up.
aligned. And when I say it was such a smooth transition,
Wow.
everything was set up. Mind you, Bobby, let's say Bobby called me on the 5th. By the 31st, I had a lease.
Wow. So let me ask you, what challenges did you have to overcome at that point to get to that headspace? Because
Being in my
now,
head, living in my head,
wow.
living in my head. And the constant question of why? Why you moving to Jamaica? You don't know nothing about down there. What are you gonna do? How are
Right.
you gonna make it?
Right.
Bobby's not gonna be with you all the time.
Right.
You know, how are you gonna do it as a that by yourself?
So that was the challenge. And what was the change?
Um just recognizing that something more was for me.
Were you looking
Something
forward to
more.
it?
I was.
Yeah, something to look
I
forward to now.
was. I was looking forward to it. I was excited. It was like a
Yeah.
whole new lease on life.
Wow.
A whole new lease on life. Mind you, I had a great life
Right.
in New York.
Right.
I really did. But I was in my head.
Right.
I was in my own way.
Right.
You know?
And that brings us back to just speaking about Regina King's son.
Yeah.
You know,
If you're
you can
talking about off camera.
have
Yeah.
all these things, but
Yeah.
if you're
But if you're
not
not in the right
in the right
mindset,
mindset,
the right headspace, the right soul set, the right heart set, because I mean the health set, it all kind of aligns, you know, mind, body, soul, health. All that stuff is aligned. And if your mind is not where it needs to be or supposed to be, all of the stuff triggers on you, how your heart feels, how
right,
your soul feels, how your emotions play, and it affects everybody. It's not just you, you know, it affects everybody in the
right,
household or
right,
anybody that you work with.
right,
And I'm sure if looking back, everybody that was around me at that time could probably say, you know, so she right. She wasn't giving herself the way
right.
or wasn't as nice of, or
Mm,
I'm sure somebody could say that the gal there, you know, not knowing at that time,
right.
I really was going
Going
through
through.
something. I was going through it.
And that's when we give people grace.
Yeah. Oh God, and that's something that a lot of people don't do.
Right.
We don't do that.
We really don't.
We as Caribbean people, we do not give each other grace.
We really don't.
We size people up
Mhm.
and put our ideals and our limiting beliefs on them and just kind of say, all right, this is why she is the way she is.
Right.
But before saying, you know what? She has the world on her shoulders. It may not look like it, but
You know,
she's
that's one
going
of my
through it.
questions for you. Let me see if I can say it right. Then you actually almost answer what is one of your character traits that you own right now that most people didn't understand?
Living boldly.
Listen.
Living boldly.
Right.
I had I was going to be Syntyché or Sin, however you want to call me.
Right.
I was going to be her.
Right.
Right. And I think that is what, or one of, I mean, if we have to get to one of the reasons why I was going through depression, which I recently, just very recently, came, it kind of all opened up with the journey of chasing purpose.
Okay.
But speaking, using my voice, living my authentic self, being bold, the dyeing and the cutting of my hair, the way I dressed, the way I looked, the way I spoke.
Right. Right.
I wasn't supposed to be Bobby Clarke's anybody. Excuse me? Let alone his wife. Okay? Let alone his business partner. Because let us be clear, I now own Irie Jam, The Bridge, and CGN. I was never supposed to be that. if you look back over the history from where I'm coming from or where people would have thought I came from, no, sir, she can't. Who she be? No, because we don't give each other, we don't give ourselves grace, much less we don't give ourselves grace, much less other persons. We just size them up and put them in a box, and that's where they're supposed to play. That's it.
Listen, that topic right there is moving my whole heart because I have so much to share about that. But we for time's sake, we're gonna have you on again.
Yeah,
Let me
I'll
tell you something.
gladly. And this was not supposed to happen, because mind you, I live in Jamaica. This is happening in Cole, New York.
Yes. Listen, God knows how to do it.
Yes,
We already talked about that.
yes.
We already know this is an alignment. It was already an assignment.
Yes.
But oh God, just on that topic alone, just get my hairs on my hand is chill because I'm gonna share a little bit and then we're gonna go. When I was getting married to my husband, who I'm married to 31 years this year.
Amen.
I got the same comment. Yeah. You're not a nurse. You're not a doctor.
Yeah.
You're not a lawyer.
What are you?
And I fought that. Like I actually went to Hofstra University to sign up to do law just because of the pressure.
Look.
And that put me in a little state. So we can talk about that forever. But let's go because we got to talk about Jason Burns. And I do want to know, just for our listenership, like who influenced you through this journey? Did you give me 2 people that influenced you?
Bobby.
No. Bobby.
You're gonna say Bobby did, and I would say honestly, it would be the 5. It would have to be 5 people, right?
Okay.
My family makes up 6.
Okay. The Irie Jam family?
No,
which family?
My family.
Your family.
It's Bobby, Jordan, Amber, Christian, and Jade.
The babies.
Yes. They because they are the ones who would have saw me at my best and at my worst.
Right.
And they were the ones that would have experienced the brunt of whatever I was going through at the time, not understanding.
Right.
Not understanding what was happening. But the support that they continue to show.
Yeah, I see the love.
I see the love
they continue to show. They didn't even know. Bond. That's amazing.
That they had no idea, that's just it was just the littlest of things.
Just being there,
just being there. It helped a lot. Up. Yeah, and that's only because I had to pick. But there are so many. My sister, there's so many people. But if I had to say, it wouldn't be 2. It would be.
But that in itself, the fact that that's a blended family.
Yeah.
That they embraced you so much. That in itself is a blessing.
Again,
I is a blessing. That's a testimony right there. So many people can't say that.
No. Let me tell you something. That's one thing I do say about my. We are a blended family. I don't see it as that. But we're a blended family. The Amber, Jordan, and Christian, Bobby's children. They came into my life. I want to say. Chris was maybe a year and a half too, and Chris is now 19, and he was a baby at the time. And from the time I met them, maybe Emma was 5, Jordan 9. I don't remember. Around them time there. Right. But from the time I met them to today, it has been a complete blessing.
Let me tell you, I've seen you guys together.
Yeah. They're brilliant.
I've witnessed
brilliant little humans.
I've witnessed the love.
Not so little anymore, yeah.
I've witnessed just the purity love.
Yeah, and that's how I know that this was written.
Right.
I don't care, man, woman, child. It wouldn't have mattered. It was always going to be us.
Right.
It was always going to be us.
So I want to share a little bit, just for time's sake. Tell the listeners a little bit. We heard the journey.
Yeah.
We heard what you went through, and so many of us can relate to that. Mm-hmm. We have a journey of just going through, and like I said before, I saw you become a phoenix in front of me. you were always this brilliant, beautiful person, but I just saw this spirit reach that same level
Mhm.
that I saw personally. How is chasing purposes? Just give us a little, give us the most, the 2 minutes of the joy of actually going into chasing purpose.
So when chasing purpose,
Explain to the listeners a little bit what that is a
so
little bit.
chasing purpose is it's a talk show, and it airs on the Bridge and on Irie Jam Radio, and it's on YouTube. You guys can follow me, Chasing Purpose with
Yes.
Syntyché Clarke.
Yes.
Um, and it is a cross section of exploring self development,
Right.
self love, healing,
Right.
and spirituality.
Right.
And it's guided by our 4 pillars. It is nurturing faith, setting intentions, pursuing aspirations, all while living
Oh,
boldly.
go ahead.
And the reasoning chasing purpose even started because you guys know me as a music industry person and wearing multiple hats within that space. So at no point would anybody, even going back to high school, if somebody said this girl is going to be doing what, talking about what, no. But again, God has a whole sense of humor, guys. Let me tell
Yes,
y'all.
he does.
He said, I put you in this specific industry for a reason. You're going to move and shake in this industry for a reason, and you're going to affect change in this industry for a reason. I believe that. And even if it's one person, somebody that hears a
That's
chasing
right.
purpose show and that feels like, oh wow, she went through it. Well, I can do it too.
Yes. Yes.
Then my work here ain't done, but
right.
you know,
It's
it
looking
was well
good.
worth it. It's
Yes.
looking good. And I speak to, you know, so when I launched Chasing Purpose, I had no idea what was going to happen. I had no idea. I just knew that God said, Syntyché, you need to be doing more with this
Right.
space. You need to be doing more with with the medium that I have gifted you. And you know, the word purpose kept coming up to me, kept coming up, like I have a purpose, I have a gift, I'm here for a reason. And then around that time, Chadwick Boseman passed away. And the name of the show is actually going to be called Authentically You. I've never said that to anybody, so this is a fun fact. It was going to be called Authentically You. But I was running one day outside, and I was right, and my girlfriend Nakia was in Jamaica with me, and the word purpose came up, and then right after, I think I saw a speech that he gave, and the word purpose, it kind of like it boxed me.
Yeah.
And
you're running.
And I was running.
Yes, you were chasing
yes.
purpose.
And it was like yes. It was like, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do.
Wow.
And just like God, Bobby said, it was like, you know, I have this airtime, I'm about to give up, and yeah. And I was like, nope, no, you're not.
That's right.
Here's what we're gonna do. And he was just like, oh, okay.
Yes, I'm like a Jamaican.
And yeah, like okay. And September of, I think it was 2020, it was born. Wow. And with no formal training, but again, through the family that is my brothers Roy, Dubby, Jabba, everybody that they had no idea at the time that while I was producing them and in and around them, that I was taking.
Right.
They were nurturing me.
Those skills was rising.
They were nurturing me. Wow. The seed was planted.
Wow, exactly.
The seed was planted, and they were nurturing me with no idea.
Producing a show.
And I was yes. No idea that I would now be a host of the show. And I mean,
and a phenomenal host, I may say. Listen,
thank you.
I watched you. I don't get to watch because I'm busy myself, a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But I do see when you post your phenomenal guests.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh man.
Everyone, please.
They make the show, and
have to go on this platform, Chasing Purpose with
It is Clarke. The sharing. It is through these stories, right? And we're gonna talk back a little bit more about the reasoning that chasing purpose would have started, which I didn't realize at the time. Even coming from the depression I was going through at the time, how it all kind of came full circle on the show.
Wow. Wow.
Well, God said, no, Syntyché, you're supposed to be doing something more. But
Wow.
He's also saying, while you're doing this something more, you're also healing.
Listen, that thing dropped in my spirit. You were going for healing, but God sent the healing.
Yes.
But He sent the healing in your own show.
So, and it happens every show. It happens
But can I say I see that? I see that. Like, it's just an amazing thing to watch. You have produce a show, and the Soul Like God produce a show that He's healing you through.
He's healing me
and
through.
So many other people.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
So many other people.
One particular show was a September 9th show, Gabrielle Mears. And this is where I recently spoke about turning my trauma into triumph. Again, I'm not understanding. God saying, Syntyché, do something more. Come, you have this medium, do something more. You have a brilliant platform in Irie Jam Radio, do something more. You're about to launch the bridge, do something more. I've continued to put you in places where you can affect the change, do something more. And that is the one thing that do something more from Him was why this thing kind of birthed. But in that birthing, I'm not realizing that He's saying, Syntyché, while you're doing this, I'm working on you. I am working on you because you too have your issues. All right. You too have your things that you need to work through. And let me tell you something. August 9th of last year, a young lady, I think she may be 19, could be in her 20s. She just left the university. I think the show was about trauma. And I said to Bobby the night before the show, I write every show. I have a producer, but I write every script.
Wow.
And I said to Bobby, boy, this girl's coming on, and I was sharing her story. She's a victim, victor of rape. And she was raped at 9 by a family member. And I said to Bobby, boy, what do I do here? Do I share? Do I just hold it? He was like, Sin, you'll know. You'll know. I think he said you'll know. So I walk onto my set that day, and it was actually shot. No, it aired on my birthday. I walked onto the set, and one of my team members said to me, Sin, you all right? You don't look like yourself. You all right? I said, no, yeah, man, I'm good. Sit down now, the intro to the show. We're going through the questions. And I asked Gabrielle, did you tell anybody? Did you share with anybody? At 9, you were victimized. Did you share?
Yeah.
And what she proceeded to tell me broke me.
Wow.
At 9, she said she didn't tell anybody. No, I said, did you tell your mom? Something like that. She said she didn't tell her mom because she knew her mom was suffering with mental illness and she did not want to burden her mother.
Wow.
Sharon?
Wow.
Me just start by same time.
Of course.
Me just start by same time because God is saying to me, all right, girl, let's do this. Now you're really going to understand why I brought you here. So I proceeded to say, all right, at 15, at 15, I was raped. Not only was I raped, Sharon, I was set up by who was supposed to be my boyfriend at the time to be raped.
God.
And as I'm saying it's like it's Sharon, everybody in the room, they don't know what to do with themselves because this is the first time now I'm outing or opening Pandora's box. Right? And not only was I raped, Sharon, I could not what after it happened, I don't even understand. As to this day, I don't understand how or why or even how I reach home tonight. But I had to suppress it because coming from that Caribbean house, you couldn't tell nobody say. You couldn't tell nobody say. You just go, Somebody do no sir. So I had to stuff that right on down. At 15, I was left. My 15-year-old self has just gotten freed on chasing purpose. Does that make sense?
And on your birthday, you said it was aired?
Yeah, on my birthday, my 43rd birthday.
Wow. So
So at 15 now, you're I'm a victor, by the way. This is not a pity party. This
right,
is not,
I know, but
this
I
is
just
not, this is,
emotional.
yes.
Sorry.
No,
Because I love
I'm just
you.
saying, I don't want anybody to feel like this
No.
is me looking for
Right.
anything other than I'm just sharing
Of
my story,
course,
because at the end of the
somebody
day,
else
because
needs to hear this.
somebody else has gone through this.
Yes.
Some woman of my age went through this at whatever young age, but didn't have the space to share.
Right. And maybe still blocked.
And of course, and not it's not, the word's not blocking, it's suppressed.
Suppressed.
And what happens when you suppress something? It leads to depression. When you suppress it, it leads to depression. You depress it, right? And when I do the work, no, this is hard work. I've now just finished coming through therapy because of it. Because essentially what happened at 15, that 15-year-old girl was left there, but my physical self had to keep moving.
Right.
I had to keep moving.
Right.
But the 15-year-old girl was
there.
still there. I had to make amends for that.
Right.
Sharon, when I tell you, throughout all of that stuff, from the time I started working wherever, doing whatever, marrying my whomever, I had a noose around my neck the entire time.
Right.
The entire time.
Right.
No matter how you see the bells and the whistle, the wedding castle, the proposal at Barclays Center, all that stuff is great, you know?
Right. But I want to share something I know, because our time is like almost up.
Oh no, is it? I could talk forever.
I know, but I can't. We need another hour for that. We're gonna have Syntyché. Don't worry, back on. We're gonna talk about just that, because there's so many people stuck because of that.
I'm telling you.
And one of the things, I also know I have a mentor. One of the things that he says is, before you launch something, your heart has to be healed.
Yeah.
That's what he said to me. He says, Sharon,
Yeah.
Dig deep.
Yeah.
Because you cannot launch anything
Yeah.
until your heart has been healed and you have addressed your issues.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And so you're to this point right here, we're going to have a show just based on that, because so many people are not in their purpose or even chasing their purpose.
No,
because of it.
It's because of it, and they feel that because of that trauma, they feel like, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy.
Right.
How am I
no matter
worthy?
how beautiful you
no
are.
matter.
People tell you every day.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Exactly. If inside you don't feel it, if here you don't feel it, and here you don't feel it, all that stuff does not matter.
So we're going to stay on part 2 of this. Because we're both here crying. I don't even know. Lash is about to drop on the table.
That's okay. That's okay.
I want you to share with people. I'm going to ask you 2 more questions before we close. What are the 2 1 more minute. Give us something tangible to leave with, to push out into chasing our purpose.
Someone said this to me, and I'm going to say it to them. And I'm speaking to the adults here. You have to face it to fix it.
Right. Exactly.
You have to face it to fix it. And you're not alone.
Right.
I think a lot of us believe that, whenever we go through things, we're by ourselves, or another thing within our Caribbean community, we're unable to share. Right. There are not enough safe spaces for us to share, because judgment, we're fearing judgment, and we're guilty of it. I am guilty of it. I've done it before. I've judged people. I've looked somebody up and down and said, "Oh," I said them.
Right.
When not
you don't know nothing about that. But the Bible says we're to judge your fruit, God's to judge your heart. And a lot of times I'm really focused on that right now. I don't judge people's heart.
We can't.
As a matter of fact, we're called, when we see that happen, to love on them even more.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I think we need to practice that
yes.
as a culture.
Yes, as a
as a
culture.
people,
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
supposed to
yeah,
be loving on the
yeah,
person
yeah,
that we're snobbing and
yeah,
being mean
yeah,
to, who may have been raped
yeah,
at 9 or
yeah, yeah,
15.
and you just don't
You
know.
don't know.
You just don't know. Let me tell you something. When you're a victim of rape, there's two things that happen to you that can happen to you. And I'm just learning this now because I'm doing the therapy and the heart work. You either clam up
Hmm.
or you
Right.
go the
Or the
opposite
other way.
way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we've seen both.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, honey. Look here now. Um. But again. But again.
Yes.
This may sound crazy, but I had to be raped. Does that? I mean, I don't even. I know y'all are gonna be like, "What she said?" But I had to go through
Go
that
through that to get to here.
to get to where I am now.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, whether and I'm what I want to do is leave an impact.
And you are.
And that impact is I want to ensure that these women, these and men, because men and women are victim of
Yes.
rape. That my story or my trauma is actually a triumph.
Mm.
I've let go and released
Love it.
that
Love it. Love
whatever
it.
that was, whatever
Love it.
they
Love
were,
it.
because it was two people that
And can
raped
I
me, to be
tell you,
honest.
I see it on you.
Thank you.
For the listeners who can't see her, we're gonna have this on YouTube. You have
Yeah.
to look at the glow.
Thank you.
I see
Thank you.
the triumph on you, and I see
Thank
the
you.
work.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
see the work.
it's not easy work.
No, I
It's
see
not
the
easy
work.
work either. It is not easy work. It's hard work, but please, if
So
you've
worth
gone through it, it is worth it. Let me tell you something. The mountaintop, okay, the view at the mountaintop is much better than the valley. Okay,
Yes.
and whatever you're going through, again, remember the operative word there is through.
Right.
You're not stuck.
Right.
You're
Right.
not stuck. You're working through. You're overcoming. You're working. You're going through it. So
Right.
please be mindful of that and do the work and do the work. And share and reach out.
Yes.
Don't think you're alone. By all means, reach out to me.
Yes.
I have
And by
no
saying
issue
that,
with that.
tell us how we can find you.
Yeah, so I am on Instagram at chasingpurpose_on purpose, at Irie Sin. You can DM me. You can email me at purposesoars@gmail.com. That's purposesoars@gmail.com. We're launching our website soon. Watch the show. We're on the
Yes.
Bridge 99 FM on Mondays at 11 a.m. You can watch us on the bridge99fm.com or on Irie Jam Radio Thursday nights at 9 p.m. on the 360 app, or you can just tune in 93.5. We believe that we are sowing seeds that we all can benefit from.
Right. And you are.
And that's super
And
important.
you guys are impacting the community.
Yes, very important.
And so we just
to us.
appreciate. I
That's
just want to
important to
thank
us.
you.
Thank
I just want to
you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for creating this space. And
Yeah.
I know someone will be blessed by it. We need more platforms like this where we as people of the Caribbean culture can share, and not
Yes.
just women too. I think we're for whatever reason, I don't know where the mentality comes from. We're pitted against one another
Yeah.
for whatever reason. But I just want everybody,
Right.
every woman to know that we've all been through
Right.
things. You're not alone.
Right.
And give yourself and others grace. Leave someone empowered. Leave someone lighter, please. Your interactions with others is very, very, very important. So whatever you can do to leave someone lighter, I implore you all to do so.
And I want to say amen to that. I just want to thank all our listeners and viewers today for coming on. And this is the reason why I created Unloaded, the Soulful Journey to Self-Care. And we did just that.
Yeah,
we unloaded.
You did.
And
Congratulations.
I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you too,
And I'm
Sharon.
just grateful for all the listeners and all the people who are going to be impacted by this sharing. And I just want to continue to know that you have people cheering for you.
Thank you.
So many people cheering you on.
Thank you.
And we have to continue cheering each other
on.
Right?
Very important.
We love you. We love your family.
We love you too.
We
We
love
love
what
your
you're
family
doing.
too. You know, well, you know that. You know that.
We love what you're doing.
Thank
and
you.
keep on doing. May the grace of God keep
Thank
you.
Same, Sharon. Same. Same. What I don't love is this cold air, so
Oh
I'm going
yeah,
back to
she
my
said
country.
listen, she's
Yeah.
out tomorrow, guys.
Yes, I am.
So that's why we had to have her today. But Sin, can I get a hug?
Absolutely.
I
I love you too,
love you.
Sharon.